and welcome to Talking Out Cloud, the leadership chat series brought to you by SourceFuse. And today we're going to hear a unique perspective on how AWS, its partner network and sales teams work in harmony to ensure customers can leverage new and emerging cloud technology, as well as being able to benefit from the various AWS partner programs that are available. My name is Liz Grint, Marketing Manager here at SourceFuse. The company celebrated its 17th anniversary earlier this year, and over that time we've developed a depth of experience and industry expertise, enabling us to transform enterprises through our bespoke, secure and scalable cloud solutions and services. Now, being an AWS Advanced Consulting Partner, I'm really thrilled to be joined today by Laura McBride, Principal Partner Sales Manager at Amazon Web Services, to share her insights on being the leader and the linchpin, I think, between the different teams, partners, and customer accounts. Welcome, Laura.
Hi, Liz. Good morning or afternoon, evening. It's so good to see you, and thank you for welcoming me.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here, Laura. So, Laura, a great way to kick this off is if you could perhaps tell us a bit about your background and experience and what led you to develop a passion for cloud technology.
Oh my goodness. I'll try to be brief. So I had an entire career in telecommunications. I was in telecommunications for about 28 years. And I was in sales that entire time, and I got a little weary of RFPs and RFQs and decided that I needed a new chapter in my life. So that was about 8 years ago. I decided to pursue cloud, and Amazon was, that was a household word, but not AWS. So it was really fun to be in those initial years. Of course, not initial for Amazon or for AWS. I came in a little in, as we were in our growth mode. But I remember being at many reInvents when there were not that many people there. So lots of background in the fact that I started fairly early. I loved the fact that I was in a brand new industry that was new to a lot of people. Even still today, adopting cloud is new to customers, especially in my region. We have a good many late adopters, and I love talking with those customers about their journey and how they're going to get to the cloud. But it's been a lot of fun. It goes by so fast, but it has been a real blessing to me to be in this space. So thank you.
That's a lovely story, actually, lovely journey you've been on. And you've had massive success in this industry. So everyone in AWS knows you and respects you, and that's not an easy feat. So I think we'd all be interested to hear your perspective on how you define leadership and what are some of the things that you do differently as a leader.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the kind words. I don't know about all that, but I just love my job, Liz. Like I can't begin to tell you how much I love it. Like, it's just crazy because I tell a lot of people I'm in the fourth quarter of my career. I don't plan to work forever, but I view every day as just a really wonderful opportunity to help people and to learn from. We're learning all the time, right? So, but I think that my perspective inside of AWS is a little different from a lot of people's because I come from the partner world. So like I was mentioning 8 years ago when I first started this journey, I didn't know anything about cloud, and I was with a partner. I was with a brand new, I was the third employee, and we were just learning everything from scratch. And I just remember the days when the partner network was this big, and it's really big now. But I understand and have a very clear perspective of what it is like to be in your shoes as a partner working with us as AWS, because we're a behemoth. It's a massive company, and we can be very difficult to navigate. And I believe that everyone that touches partners, whether it be a partner development person or a partner salesperson or a seller, needs to understand that put ourselves in your shoes, that it isn't the easiest place to navigate and get around. And figure out. And, having that level of understanding is helpful to me. And a lot of times I have my leaders tell me you need to take off your partner hat, because I tend to be, very pro partner. And, obviously I work for AWS now, and have for 3 years, but it was just such a journey coming through and watching partners grow. So I was with a company called Relish. We got bought out by CloudReach. Then I was with a company called Contino. We got bought out by Cognizant. And so I'm very familiar with the journey of the growth as a partner, whether it be a startup or whether it be a mid-sized partner. Just very familiar with that. And I didn't mean to tell you happy anniversary. I didn't realize that y'all had 17 years. That's really amazing to me. And I've loved working with SourceFuse. So I could go on and on about all this. So you just have to keep bringing me back down.
No, it's good. I mean, there's that passion. And also when I mentioned at the beginning that you're like the linchpin, it's because you have that understanding of both camps. So you mentioned just then that you used to oversee like a small number of accounts, but in our recent conversations, you mentioned that nowadays you oversee about 5,000 accounts of various sizes. So you must be in very high demand. What is your, what I would say, your mantra for success?
Every day requires prioritization. Like if you wake up and you get to your computer and you just look at your inbox, it's not going to be a very good day. Granted, you have to be there and you have to prioritize that. But I think our calendars, more than anything, our calendars should really direct our priorities. So understanding, what today is and what tomorrow is, and how what I do today affects tomorrow and next week is really important. And we just have to prioritize our, every day, like, okay, I need to put most of my brain power into this particular project. And sometimes it's hard to do because we have so much on our plates. But I actually block time out in my calendars so generally speaking, from 8 o'clock to 9:30 in the mornings, I am doing nothing but administrative type of work where I'm responding to emails and doing the administrative things that are at the top of my list, like funding requests, whatever it might be. But I don't take calls. Generally speaking, I don't take calls during that time. I turn off all of my notifications. And I just have to prioritize my calendar that way. And a lot of times I'll put blocks for an hour for lunch because, in this world of working remote and just the crazy schedules that we keep, I can find myself not even eating lunch, not even getting up and walking away from the computer. And it's so unhealthy to do that. And so I've found that, getting outside and walking, taking a walk and eating a bite, taking a break away from the madness. And also don't pick this up when you walk away, because that's just a distraction and more stress. So it's about priorities. I believe that's probably the most important thing.
Yeah, I love that. And I think I've even got a few tips myself there as well. So, with the constantly emerging and advanced cloud tech that keeps coming through and, more and more numerous AWS partner programs, for example, the migration acceleration program that we've actually leveraged for quite a few of our customers now. What positive changes have you noticed for the accounts that you support as that's coming through?
The maturity of the program, the fact that we as Amazonians and you as well, I mean, I'm sure many companies take on this, innovative look of being a builder and constantly thinking about how we can invent and simplify things and make things better. MAP has really gone through a lot of metamorphosis. It started out and quite frankly, was maybe taken a little bit too advantage of, where, we're giving money and all this. And, we kind of had to say, put the brakes on a little bit and say, okay, this needs to be customer obsessed. And in order to be customer obsessed, we have to have milestones and we have to have timelines and we have to stick to them. And so we've really, put in quite a few more rules around the way that the funding works, the way the funding gets paid out. I think that, that's not easy from a partner standpoint, to have changes happen midstream. But I think we've tried to be fairly aware of the fact that we don't change too much in the middle of a calendar year. It's pretty much at the beginning of the calendar year that we make these changes going forward. But the changes that we've made have been really good this year. We've tried to follow the processes better. We've tried to educate you as our partners on how to do tagging properly, so that you as SourceFuse are gaining credit for all of the revenue that is involved in that map project. So lots of little things like that ultimately help the customer in the long run, because if we're not following these steps and doing these things along the way and making improvements, then the customer's not seeing the benefit of it. And so it's, while change is hard and we make a lot of it around here, generally speaking, they're well thought through before they're actually implemented. So I like that part of Amazon.
Yeah, so improvements. I mean, things can be improved on all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, constantly.
So you said, we've worked together, SourceFuse and Amazon, and also yourself. What has your experience been like working with the SourceFuse team, and how do you see, with your partner hat on, how do you see SourceFuse and AWS leading together?
Yeah. So I'm super excited that I'm having this call right now, because this morning we were planning, I was on a planning call for the New York Summit that's coming up week after next. And we've been thinking about the fact that we will have leaders from the partner organization as well as the sales organization in town, and connecting the people, which is, I think, probably my biggest strength. I should have mentioned that when you brought that up earlier about me in particular. My favorite thing about what I do in this job is connecting people and networking, and having, realizing that this person over here really needs to meet this person over here, because they have so much in common and they're working on the same project, but they don't even know about each other. And that is something I love to do. And people, my family in particular, gives me a really hard time about it, because I never meet a stranger and I talk all the time, and I need to learn how to calm it down. But I really do love the fact that I've gotten to know SourceFuse better. I'm learning more and more about your individuals in your organization and who is doing what, and how to plug them in with people within Amazon, where it can just step up the partnership, right? Because you're trying to go to market in a smart way. And the last thing that you need to be doing is spinning your wheels on something that's not taking you forward. And so, learning more about your go-to-market plan has made me more aware of where you need to get plugged in, or what you're doing differently from other partners. So that's one thing that I've really loved getting to know about SourceFuse is you're very quick to respond. So your sales teams are on the money and very just responsive and quick, because in this, especially in my particular segment, so I work in Greenfield, in what we now call commercial Greenfield, which used to be SMB Greenfield. So basically it's the smallest customers in the market within that don't have spend on us. And so our sellers are incented by growing customers and graduating them into the next level. So their main thing is to take a small biller and get them to $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month. Well, I'm finding that SourceFuse, the responsiveness and the ability to quickly and also fairly inexpensively move their workloads onto the cloud, and then migrate, modernize, do all the things. You're willing to take small customers and large customers. So it's just been really wonderful working with your team and getting to know everyone, and figuring that out, figure out what's working and what's not, and all of that.
That's lovely, and some lovely things you said, and also some more skills to add to your portfolio, if you like. And honestly, never dial down that enthusiasm. It's great. Lastly, Laura, maybe thinking about the greenfield, the commercial greenfields as well. What trends in the industry are you seeing right now, and what do you think will be the next big thing?
So I think, there's all the buzz about Gen AI, and I'd like to just say, from our perspective in our space, Gen AI is difficult because we don't even have the databases on the cloud yet. So I'm saying this, and I'm hoping that this will get an audience, and some ears will hear this. We need partners that can migrate databases and then layer on Gen AI. So in our particular segment, it's a little bit of a different go-to-market when you start talking about buzzwords like Gen AI, because our customers don't, first of all, they don't really understand it. And second of all, they're needing to they want to get to the cloud and get off of on-prem or out of data centers first. And so, it doesn't mean that it takes a year or, it doesn't have to be that long. We can be having the conversations about Gen AI along with talking about their databases. But many of these customers have legacy, rather old forms of databases that need to be migrated. And there aren't that many partners that can really be able to step in and address moving those databases to the cloud. So I did want to mention that on this podcast or this video, because I think it's very important for us to remember that not everyone is ready for Gen AI, right? We're not all understanding the whole scheme of how it even works if we aren't even in the cloud. So, but that being said, it is a very big topic. It is one that these partners and our customers are going to be able to have conversations where they can understand it. It's going to be critical.
That's amazing. And I'm sure it'll feature in one of our future topics on these podcasts as well. Laura, a massive thank you for taking time out today of your very busy schedule and speaking to me.
This was wonderful, Liz. Yeah, I'm excited to see your team in New York in a couple of weeks, and just hats off to SourceFuse.
Thank you so much. And thanks, as always, to you, our viewers, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss our next video. And I'll see you all again soon on our next Talking Out Cloud.